actually probably doesn't surprise him, because like when we're all walking through the woods or hiking and stuff, we definitely go have fun and get silly and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, hey, you want to put your headphones on? All right. So, how do we start this thing? I say, hey, welcome to the show. We're gonna have some fucking bullet right now.
Yeah. Awesome.
And so I guess I don't really have to say much about who you are, but your name's Dan St. Jacques, right?
Yep, that's me.
So Dan, you want to tell the people out there a little bit about yourself? I mean, because I know who you are. You're a good friend of mine. We can share some whiskey on that one.
Right on. Cheers, man.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for coming.
You got it. Oh, that stuff's smooth, man.
Yeah.
Right on.
That's just what I needed for this to end this night.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Or to get it started, I guess.
Yes. All right. So who am I? Dan St. Jacques. Well, as far as this is concerned, probably I'm a local musician from Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah. And if no one knows what bands you are or have been in, you've been in a fucking shit ton of bands.
I've been in a lot of bands, man. Well, I've been playing for just about 30 years now in town.
Yeah.
So, it all started with Sourpuss.
Sourpuss?
Yeah, it's Jason Tatro and Joe Propetia from Scarce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like
awesome.
1990. We'd open up for, the Liars, the Boston band, or, we played with a lot of grunge stuff in the 90s. We were, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
Started in 1990.
I vaguely remember that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Because the next thing you went on to was what? I wanted to ask you, did you do the Hydrogen Terrors at all?
Yes, but that came out of Von Ryan's Express.
Oh, okay. Von Ryan's came first.
Yeah, right after Sourpuss. That was like 92. 92 to 93, something like that, 94.
Awesome.
It was a side project with John Von Ryan and Jeremiah Ryan from Six Finger Satellite.
Yeah.
And we got a 45 out on Sub Pop.
Right.
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Through Jay,
Yeah.
And then that morphed into the Terrors once John split, and we got Nikitosha on the drums.
Yeah.
And then it became the Hydrogen Terrors. One member different, but we just decided to change the name.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
It's like a new member, it's like a new feel.
Yeah, out of respect for both of the people, both drummers.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I can't stand it how bands like kind of like change the singers even. And it's just like, no, we're the same band.
Yeah, totally different. Like,
yeah, it's just like it's not. And then you got that fucking riff now with the fans, right?
Yep, yeah, because there's the people that like the early shit, don't like the later shit.
Right, don't like the new member.
Yeah. That's happened to me. I played bass in Six Finger Satellite on one tour and did one record with them.
That was the most recent one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But everyone like kind of at the time didn't like whatever they were doing. When they added all the synths, everybody's like, "What's this shit?"
Yeah.
And then like, then they love it, after the fact.
That was a hard sell those days, huh? The
synth. Seriously,
now people
man,
would jump on it.
I know, this is like way before all the retro stuff. Awesome. Yeah, after the Terrors, Olneyville Sound System started in 96.
Yeah.
And then Landed.
Yeah.
And we got some shows coming up.
You do?
Opening for the OCs, New York City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Nice.
2 sold-out nights, Thursday, Friday, 17th, 18th of October.
Damn.
Next week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then the 20th in Providence, AS220.
So that's opening for the OCs?
Not in Providence. In Providence, it's in Heat, finished, and then Landed, headlining.
Awesome.
But the 2 gigs in New York City at Warsaw, the Polish-American club in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And the Flying Lutenbach is opening. So that's kind of crazy.
That's right. That's awesome.
I mean, I heard their new shit is insane.
Really?
Their arrangements and their technical ability is crazy.
Really? Yeah, they've been around for a fucking second too.
Yeah, Skin Graph, Weasel Walter. It's like really cool, like blast beat, like free jazz stuff, but it's all hyper arranged. Like, I'm going to go out there and sound like cavemen.
That's all right, man. That's what you do. That's what people like.
That's what we do, man. Yeah. We're psyched. John Dwyer asked us, he played in Landed too.
Yeah?
Yeah, back in 97, like the first record or whatever.
That's awesome.
That yeah.
That'd be like a nice little reunion, huh?
Yeah.
And a big fucking show too. Sold out
exactly.
already.
Yeah. Already. Because them, we just did,
Still.
added as the friends.
Yeah.
But we're psyched for that.
But you guys are fucking awesome just as good.
Thanks,
I
man.
mean.
Yeah, different
You're gonna give those guys something to see. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that.
That's what John's thinking. That sort of look at, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Booking the shows, right? You're like, hey, we can book Landed, but they might upshow us, man. They might show us up, But they're our friends and we love them and they're awesome.
Exactly. We might do something.
Yeah, fuck it, try it. Have them come out, just fucking put on a good show.
So I'm psyched for that one.
Yeah.
So then, after that, Vincibus Eruptum, The Fuzz, Extinction Machine,
Jesus,
Hot Knives, The Hammer Party. That's the newest band.
I have, I gotta be honest, I haven't even heard some of these bands.
Oh shit, man. Well,
like
I'll send you like the Bandcamp links or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's post-punk stuff. Some of it's like, it's all the same stuff to me, man. It's all rock. It's all rock, noise rock, hard rock. It's funny because when OSS plays gigs, like it totally, who we're playing with that night. We're playing with a bunch of hardcore bands. We're the noise band. We play with indie rock. We're like hardcore, or something. You know what I mean? Or it's all over the place. We play with noise bands. We're the rock and roll guys. You know what I mean? It depends on like what kind of show it is, but we still get asked to play like all different stuff. Like from reggae and jazz to singer-songwriter stuff, like heavy metal, punk, whatever. Right. So that's kind of cool.
It is. I love that. Like how it can just be so diverse like that.
Yeah, we can go anywhere and just be like, two weirdos like Freak Show or something, Sideshow.
Yeah, I haven't seen you guys play in fucking forever, actually. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've been busy with the whole fucking life thing.
Yeah, man.
But
we're psyched. Yeah, 22 years, still going, man.
Yeah.
And Landed too now. That's like, just 1 year behind.
Really?
97.
But you guys have had a couple lineup changes, right?
Oh, Landed? Yeah. Landed was always like a collective.
Right.
It's like the core members, me, Sean Greenlee, Dr. Sean Greenlee.
He's doctor now?
Yeah.
Nice.
And Joel Kayak. And then we've added like along the way, it's Neil Burke from Men's Recovery Project, Born Against. We've had tons of people in town.
Just sit-ins for the night.
Rick Pelletier has been playing with us forever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or just like, a tour or a record or, a bunch of shows.
Yeah.
Whoever's available, Stephen Mattos, Chippendale, Gibson, all the guys, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's always a different like incantation every time you go out there and play.
Yeah.
So like if people come see you, they don't even know what they're going to see for the most part.
Pretty much, yeah, man. Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, it's improvisational and it's fucking spur of the moment.
Matt Brinkman, Jeremiah Ryan, who else? A bunch of people.
Do you think one night you can just get all of them together
that
for
would
one
be sick. It would
session?
be like the 20-piece big band, Landed big band.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
It would be amazing, I'm sure.
I think that'll probably happen, man. Maybe like in, 2030 or something.
Shit, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
All right, so maybe I should...
so that's who I am,
yeah. Thank you, Dan.
Done what I've did
Still
to
doing.
myself. Still doing, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly, still doing, man.
I admire it, fucking getting out there and doing it. No, actually, that reminds me, you're planning on doing any touring? Like, are you going to tour at all?
No, we're just doing those 2 shows in New York and then Providence. Yeah. Then everyone's got to fly back to, L.A., New Jersey.
Yeah, wherever they're coming
Tiverton.
from. Take the late flight.
Exactly.
But I mean, like even in the future, like maybe with
so.
Olneyville Sound System, if not Landed.
Yeah, I've gotten to do some really fun stuff.
Because over the years you've toured, right?
Yeah. We OSS did Europe back in 2012 or 13 or something. It was a while ago, but that was really cool. Then we did played South by Southwest, and we did the whole California thing. Played with the OCs and the Coach Whips, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, Coach Whips reunion. So yeah, I definitely hope to do more. Hopefully with the Hammer Party. That's the new thing.
So who's in the new Hammer Party?
It's Andy Newman from Glazed Baby,
and
John Croach from what are he playing? Tongue Dynasty with Josh Yell, and some of the shit he does, like a noise thing. Oxomo.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Played in Hot Knives. He was the drummer in Hot Knives.
Yeah.
But we started last Halloween as a big black cover band. That's why we named the Hammer Party, like their first EP or whatever.
Yeah.
So now we're, doing original shit, but we still like carried over the drum machine. So it's just drum machine, guitar, bass, vocals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's like Big Black style.
Yeah.
So it's kind of industrial, kind of like post-punk.
Right.
It's really fun. We got to open for Holy Cow a couple weeks back.
Oh, yeah?
Which is like a big like 80s, New Bedford like industrial band. They were like, New Bedford's answer to like Bauhaus or like Swans or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were cool. They were weirdos, man.
I remember them being around. Like, I remember seeing the name around a
real
lot.
gothy,
Yeah. I never got to see them. I was in a different band at the time. But I remember, like, sharing like the fucking the newsletter for the Baby Head or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And seeing
there'd
the
be
name.
Holy Cow, and you could see your band's name in there.
Exactly, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
And I always saw them, but I never heard anything about them.
Yeah, they're cool, man. I used to see them in the 80s.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, and that guy was a performer.
Really?
Like, he'd come out from under the stage with his face all bloody and stuff, and like he had a big anvil on stage, and he hit it with a hammer, and like
Jesus.
Yeah, like they were weird. Yeah, they were cool.
Well, and so that's coming up soon?
No, that we just did it a couple weeks ago.
Fuck, all right.
But yeah, we're getting to play some cool shows.
Yeah. Well, if that happens again, let me know,
Oh,
because
yeah, man,
I'm not in the
sure.
loop as well as you might think.
Yeah,
Fucking,
man.
you move out to the sticks and you just
I know,
lose
you-
contact. Fucking horrible. But so
Yeah, I still try to check out bands, once a week, couple times a week.
Yeah.
I still check out a lot of different shows, all different styles of music.
yeah. I know, and I would love to too, but like I don't have enough time.
Oh yeah, of course, man. I definitely didn't, years ago. I found some more extra time, I guess. But yeah, it's fun,
Yeah. Well, it's important to you, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's important to me too, but I just like sometimes, I bite the bullet on it, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to drive half an hour into the city,
man.
and after I've already been like working all day and shit.
Yeah, man. No,
But,
I understand that. I'm lucky enough to just still live in the city.
Yeah.
So I don't have to drive very far. And
Right.
doing sound now, it's like you know what I mean? I'm getting paid to watch shows.
Yeah, that's actually a great gig just for that reason. Then you don't even have to be like, oh, I can't get there. Just like I have to be there.
I have to be there. And like now with the iPad, like in the Behringer X32, it's like you can be anywhere in the room, walking around with the faders and everything and dialing it in.
Oh, I didn't know what kind
cool.
of like technology they had over there.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
That's awesome.
You got to come down to Dust some night.
I want to do it tonight. My fucking friend's playing tonight.
Oh, dude. Maybe we'll have to stop in there later.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've had a long day. I was thinking about sending him a message, just being like, "Hey, man, I know your show's tonight, but something else came up, and I'm just not gonna be able to make it."
The Marsha Brady. Something suddenly came up.
Yeah.
Or was that Jan?
It's no excuse though, because
Yeah,
I fucking we had to reschedule from last week, and I wasn't gonna be like, "No, Dan, I gotta go to this
I gotta
friend's show."
go to this show. My buddy's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, but I would have been like, okay, we'll do it next week. Like, that would have been fine.
No, but I wanted to get it done. I wanted to get you in.
Yeah,
there,
man, you've been sitting on this record, man.
fucking crazy, man. Yeah.
Looks like a pretty beat up copy too.
It is a beat up copy. What do you think? What do you think about a beat up copy?
I think a beat up copy is fine, man. This record's like from 1973 or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I already pulled the sleeve out, so
Nice.
just yeah. So this copy's banged up, and I know it. You tell me, you can tell me and everyone else what you think of it.
I think it's awesome looking.
So that's a first pressing, U.S.
Sick, man.
So you know the details about the first U.S. pressings for Raw Power. By the way, that's the record I'm featuring tonight. Iggy and the Stooges, Raw Power.
Raw Power. Nice.
And obviously I have the most suitable guest in Providence because the shit you do and the shit that I know about you and what I've seen of you, like you bring Iggy to mind, like when I go to those shows.
Well, that's some big shoes to fill, but thanks, man.
At least on a Rhode Island level, if not.
Yeah, man. I get it, man. I love that. His energy was just he just had it, man. And like, when you're up there, that's what you're doing. There's nothing else happening. You know what I mean? So you fucking better do it.
Yeah. But the way you do it, because it's just like a complete fuck you attitude about everything, like almost even reality.
#Dillagaff.
Because
yeah, man.
I don't know. I can't remember the first time I saw you perform. but I know it was something back then, like in the Munch House or in
Nice.
shit, man. What was your warehouse called?
Red Rum.
Red Rum.
No way. Awesome.
Yeah, because that was the turning point in my life. Was that what was that? Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Right on.
And I was like a young, late teen, early 20 person.
Yeah,
And I felt kind of pigeonholed in my own life, where I loved music. I was a musician. I was playing out.
Yeah.
But I wasn't playing where you guys were playing, because we were playing a completely different style of music.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't remember how I got introduced to somebody in one of those bands. I remember, like, the one that sticks out to me was Eric Paul.
And they brought you down to a different joint on the other side of town.
Yeah, I was working a side gig, a little part-time job with Eric Paul, and that's how I met him.
Right on.
And I didn't know anything about him. I knew he was in Erebon Radar.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the name, kind of like, holy cow. I was just like, I see it in the paper all the time. I'm like hearing about him.
We toured together.
But I haven't listened to him. So
and then you were like, what the fuck?
He told me to come down to a show. He was just like, you want to come see us play? I was like, yeah, sure. Where are you playing? He was like, we're playing at the Columbus. And this was when it was still the Porn House.
Oh, yeah.
And
was that did OSS play that one? Erebon Radar?
I don't remember that.
Six Fingers Satellite?
I don't think it was that one,
right.
because I don't think I missed both of you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know who else played that night, because I showed
up.
The
one where they were all hanging? They had like effigies of themselves, like dummies made up. It was like Halloween, but they were all like on ropes. Like, that was crazy, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's on their video. Their DVD.
That's from that show.
Yeah, I don't think it was that show. I don't remember if it's before or after that, but it was the first time I was seeing them.
And you were like,
and those guys, like, I didn't know everyone else in the band. I just knew Eric, and then just from talking to him like this.
Mattos.
Yeah, but I was just like, and they're the sweetest guys.
Yeah, friendly neighborhood, the Whole Foods guy. You know what I mean? Like,
he's the best. And, and he's so friendly and down to earth. But I didn't know him.
Yeah.
So I went to go see him play, and I remember like sitting first row, because I usually like to get in front, and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Is this even music?
I told Eric, I was just like,
what
the first time I saw you, like, if I had not known you and I didn't talk to you, and obviously I don't know the rest of the guys, I'm like, I was watching you, and I honestly thought to myself, these guys I think are special ed. I think they're like special needs. Like, they're seriously damaged. Like, people playing fucking rock music.
That might be true.
I know.
I can say that because they're my buds.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it is unique, you know? But they come from a long line of that kind of music. You know what I mean? Like, people think, you know, that, whoa, I've never seen that before, you know?
Right.
But, you know, Teenage Jesus and the Jerks, like, there's all kinds of post-punk and, like, awesome shit you can find, like, back from the 70s with, you know, starting with this guy.
Exactly. He started it. But so,
like, there was no one, like, the Who, like, you know, whatever, they knocked over their drum set and had, like, you know, temper tantrums, you know, break their guiitars and shit. I don't think Ron Asheton ever broke a guitar. I never saw that. But I know Iggy fucking threw himself into it.
Oh, yeah.
And off, you know, out into the audience.
Right. But that's what I was seeing with you guys, because they turned me on to this whole fucking freak thing that was happening in Providence. I was just like, I got to see more of this. And so I started going out.
It's like rock and roll revival.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Absolutely.
Every 10 years, there's always a different one, and it's a lot of garage rock and stuff, which is awesome. I love that shit. But, yeah, then there's like the freak rock or whatever. It just goes a little further.
Right.
But to me, it's the same. You know, it's still rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's just
dangerous. A little bit.
Yeah, it just, you know, takes away the blues pattern or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like 3/4 of a blues lick turned around and then broken.
And just blasted.
Yeah, exactly.
Just blasted at you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of what I love about this record, because, so what?
Yeah, let's put it on.
I got to show off the details of it too.
Oh, yeah, the sleeve and the pictures.
Yeah, so if you don't know what a fucking first pressing looks like, it's because of the red print, the little Columbia I symbol, the KC, the serial number KC32111. So, but the problem with this fucking thing is that it's a little banged up, but I'd love to know, like, I was thinking about it, I was like holding this fucking record, I was like, man, the fucking drugs that must have been done off this thing, you know?
The joints that were rolled, man.
Yeah.
Do you see any? Is there any stickiness on it?
No, actually.
Yeah, the cocaine on it.
Luckily enough, it has no sticky residue or anything like that. But
I got a few
it's worn. You know, it's got the fucking ring wear on it.
Yeah, it's got the total ringworm, man.
So whoever it was that previously owned this thing, it looks like they took off the sticker, like off the fucking poly.
Yeah, and then put it on there. That is cool. That is some fan shit, man.
Yeah, right.
They cared about it.
Yeah, and it's surprising how well they got it off. You know, and just stuck on here.
Yeah,
and,
that is cool.
Yeah.
And it's been there since 1973.
Right.
Which is the coolest part about it.
Yeah. Now, how do you like records? I mean, like, you're obviously a big fan of vinyl records.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You have a bigger collection?
I don't know. I have like maybe 1,500 records. I got like 20 crates of records.
Nice.
I don't know how much that is. I never counted it.
Right.
But I have, I have stuff from when I was a teenager, all the punk stuff that I bought, when it came out.
Right.
And then I have, banged up copies that I found at yard sales, Salvation Armies. I have stuff that I bought online, because I looked for it,
right,
and tried to get a decent copy. So I've got like everything.
So how much searching do you think you do to like buy a record these days?
Not much, man.
It's like you know what you want.
I go to Analog Underground. I go to Armageddon, and I give myself like a $50 cap at both spots or something.
Yeah,
and like I do that, I don't even think once a year. But
right.
I definitely have slowed down.
Yeah, well, because they're so fucking expensive usually.
Yeah,
the good
when
ones.
I was a kid, like I was just buying them all the time.
Yeah.
Through my 20s, that's when I amassed my collection.
Yeah,
it was in my 20s.
So what do you think was your best find? Because obviously, you would go to a yard sale, garage sale, fucking thrift store, and stumble across something. You dig through a crate somewhere.
Yep.
What was your most favorite find?
My first apartment in Providence, I moved in 1990, 107 4th Street. It was like a block from Merriam. Mm-hmm. And this guy had a yard sale next door, a neighbor I never met. African-American dude, probably in his 40s. And I was like 18, 19. He had John Coltrane, Ascension. He had The Last Poets. He had like Funkadelic.
Yeah.
America Eats Its Young.
And do you think these
Gatefold
are original pressings? Like
yeah, I got like 70s? The guy bought them when they came out, and like I don't know if he had CDs or he was just getting rid of his records, and like
maybe the wife said, "Hey, these got to go."
Yeah, and I like they were all different, but like in that vein of stuff that I already loved. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, like stuff that like was hard to find. There was no internet, and
right,
like 1990,
right. You kind of stumbled across it back then, and that was it. I mean, like, there was no online shopping for the most part.
Exactly. Or like, a copy of Vincebus Eruptum Blue Chair at the Salvation Army, something like that.
Yeah.
You'd find it, but, they'd be a little banged up, but you didn't really care.
As long as they play, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It didn't matter.
So, by the way, can you pick that record up and just kind of look at it, just kind of see what you think of it?
Nice. Sounds right.
Not yet.
Actually, man, it doesn't look too bad.
I mean,
I thought because of the sleeve, the way that thing's been pulled in and out of like a bunch of records,
right,
for years. That's why it's got that ring.
Mm-hmm.
But this actually looks. It's got some couple big ones, scratches, but barely noticeable.
I don't think you're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Like
doubtful.
Because I've tried it already. And,
looks pretty clean, man.
Yeah. Well, I did a good cleaning of it myself. When you clean your records, how do you clean your records?
That disc mate or whatever it was called.
Yeah, it's just a dry brush, the micro brush.
Yeah, I just do that.
You don't use any kind of like liquids or anything, like any of those polishes.
It came with that little.
Oh, okay, that like little lube or whatever it is. Lubes up the brush.
I might do a couple drops on there if it's really dirty or something.
Right.
Usually just dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just brush it and then dry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just brush it and then just blow it off, blow the needle off.
Yeah. But what if you found like a one that was like really dusty, like fucking came out of a basement or something?
Yeah. Then I don't know, does alcohol eat away vinyl? I've never really...
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
And actually, that's what I do.
And you always just dilute,
Yeah.
Yeah, just dilute.
Yeah.
I would say any kind of astringent would work. Maybe hydroperoxide. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would like bubble up and shit. Though.
Yeah. I've read a lot about
alcohol. Aren't most cleaning agents like
alcohol
based? You know? So you just dilute it, and then just kind of lightly dampen it,
Right.
dampen cloth.
Yeah.
I've heard of people like taking skips out of records by putting them in the oven for like,
Ooh,
you know,
yeah.
that's a dangerous game.
No.
Man. That's a slippery slope.
I would have to practice on some
Yeah.
shitty record.
Yeah, man. If you like, all of a sudden the thing's just like,
Yeah.
you know, melted fucking Velveeta.
No, and just
thanks.
ruined.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, I that's what I do. Actually, I've been doing like a wet listen even.
Yeah,
So my first listen is a wet listen.
Whoa.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'll clean it with alcohol, like a half and half
Yeah.
solution, and then I heard this technique that like if you have a record that's like a little crackly, just give it a wet listen. Just use that same solution. It's a half and half alcohol, distilled water. You spray it liberally on the top, and just just use your finger or like I use a little brush thing, a little soft brush, just to kind of
clean it.
Just level it out, and then you put the needle right in it. Yeah,
Well, it just plays right over it like liquid.
Yeah.
Maybe it's smoother. Maybe
Well, it takes out some of the crackle, and I think that what it does is it like gets in the grooves.
Yeah.
And then the fucking stylus comes right, just chugging away right through it.
Yeah.
And just picks away at some of that really deep, dark, grime or whatever that's in the grooves.
That's a really cool technique.
So, so I did that to this.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna listen to it dry.
Nice. So second listen.
Yeah. So, do you mind? Because you're on that side.
No, man.
Oh, just bring it over.
Is it? Can't see it. Is it more? A little more.
Yeah, if I drop it. Let's see how loud it is. So hot, that guitar sound. Oh yeah. And on this recording,
I think when they went in the studio, they were just like, there was no one there. I think they did it themselves. Yeah. And like they just like everything in the red, everything like they were probably getting lit, having fun.
Sorry about that, man.
That's all right, man. Just so good. I love all the Ron Ashton's bass like slides. Every like changes like.
I don't think you can hear that too well on this recording.
Not on this recording. Yeah. Then on that rough power mix, some of those were good. So yeah, the controversy of the mix must be discussed. Yeah, the Ashton brothers definitely were a little diminished in the mix, but apparently Iggy tried to get a new band going in England under the direction of David Bowie, and then it didn't happen. And like he's like, I want my guys. guys from Detroit.
Right.
Back. I want the Ashton brothers back.
Yeah.
So then they got them back. But like on the recording, they still got like, you know, little sub-mixed.
All right, let's give it a break there for a second.
Yeah, man.
So I have my first raw power listening was I think it was 98. They did that reissue and that remix. Iggy remixed it himself.
Yeah.
That was my introduction to raw power.
I don't know what that one sounds like.
Well, I only had it on CD. I didn't have it on vinyl at the time.
Yeah, but I bet it's clear.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, this was clear. No crackle. I didn't hear that. Very little of it, especially considering we're fucking
clean,
cranking.
Man. You can see some visible scrapes, but you don't hear them, man.
Yeah. No, I get a lot of those where it's just like, I don't know what you call it even, because it's like you hold it like in the right light, and then all of a sudden you can kind of like see this weird
someone just like
sheen or
dragged
something.
Someone dragged the needle over it,
and all the little nicks.
Yeah, it just made the line, but it didn't. Right. You know, the integrity of the hull was not compromised.
Yeah, no, it's like, I guess what people say is like if you can feel like the scratch, then it's probably a bad one.
Yeah.
But if you like put your finger over it lightly,
you don't feel it, then it's just visual.
Right. Exactly. Then sometimes you'll hear a pop, like if a scrape goes right through a few grooves, and you kind of hear that, kind of like that, that chronic, just like little something like that. Yeah. Or it literally just hits that one spot.
Yeah. It's like when your brake pad is just like, you know, you can almost hear that rotor going.
Yeah.
In your car. Yeah. Hate that.
That's the worst. But yeah, and speaking of the mix, so on that release, it was already fucking loud as shit. Like,
in the red for sure.
Yeah, Iggy even said on the back, he was like, you know, his little like tag or whatever. It was this, it's a raw mix. It's a real raw mix. Everything's in the red, and it's just
awesome.
Like the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah,
you know, that's what he said about it.
Awesome, so. That's cool.
But what's his name? James Williamson was the guitar player for this record, and I actually heard an interview with him recently about this record.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because he only joined for this record basically.
Yeah. He wasn't an original Stooge.
Right.
Ron was the guy playing bass on this record.
He was a guitar
the real
player.
Like brains behind the Stooges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as like the riffs and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were fucking getting annihilated on fucking drugs and wasted and just strung out. And we're actually, by the time Bowie asked them to produce the new record, they were trying to get sober, I guess.
Yeah. It's too
like
late.
from my foggy memory of this interview I heard.
That sounds about right.
But and so they were trying to play it legit at this point, and it still came out like this, which fucking blows my mind. I'm like, what?
It's funny because the electric stuff, you know, the stuff they did with John Cale, and then with the guy out in L.A., DeLucci, like that stuff's like pretty hi-fi. It's like very clean and crisp and clear.
Yeah.
But it's John Cale, you know, Velvet Underground. It's like, it's on Elektra. It was like big,
bigger budget.
Yeah, and big, like, you know, people that knew what they were doing, like in charge, you know.
Right.
This was a free for all. You know, those guys went into the studio and Bowie was like on tour in Europe or something, and they just went at it, like you said.
Yeah, but then so Bowie, he
came in and tried to what he thought fix it in quotes. You know what I mean?
Just mixing though.
Yeah, just
like he wanted
boosted Iggy's voice and the guitar, and then just kind of bumped the Ashton brothers down.
Yeah,
which is funny because like those were the guys that were kind of, you know, I don't know, probably ripping it like, you know. And I don't think Ron ever did the hard shit. You know, I don't think he was. Yeah, he was more like the musician guy.
But the whole thing was falling apart either way.
Yeah. I don't think there was any saving the Stooges.
Yeah. Oh man,
there was a lot of bad drugs at the end there.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's kind of why, like, the original stuff is kind of like the tightest stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, maybe, I don't know, this one has the aura of the punk rock thing, you know? But the first two are they're pretty punk, too.
They are.
Yeah, and they're raw, but just in a different way. More like in a hi-fi, like, you know, Dave Alexander was still alive, the original bass player.
Yeah.
You know, they were just like, they were originally called the Psychedelic Stooges. Mm-hmm. It was like, you know, weed and beer. You know, I don't think like any heavy shit had gotten into the mix yet.
Yeah.
And you can, you know, the music's more like that.
Yeah, I wonder if that had anything to do with it, because like thinking about Funhouse. That one's been on my mind a lot lately.
Yeah, that record's sick.
Just the way it opens up, the dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun, dun, dun.
so in the pocket.
Yeah,
that drum is so laid back, but it's so tight. Like,
and it's
like
just
both.
hard.
It's like
you can tell
mellow,
he's fucking
but
just
heavy.
slamming it.
Yeah, it's like heavy, but it's mellow. Like you know, it's
got
back.
a groove to it.
Yeah,
this
sick.
is not that. You know,
No,
like this is
doesn't
more
really catch a groove. This one's more like just, but it's cool because it's got that weird energy to it.
Yeah,
you know? There's a couple like really stoogey, like, you know, there's some moments in it that you can really catch the first, you know, the efforts of the first band come alive.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the song Raw Power kind of has that weird hook in it, and Death Trip, the last song, I think, is pretty stoogey.
Yeah.
Like, that one's, I think, my favorite on the record.
All right. Well, we'll pay attention to that one then.
Yeah.
Go ahead and drop that needle. Yeah, let's listen to the next song.
Yeah, man.
What's it called now? Go ahead, just drop the needle.
Drop the needle.
Give Me Danger.
Yeah, Give Me
This is
Danger.
a good one.
It's like the mellow, heavy, mellow.
Acoustic.
It's got like a Stonesy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think that's sick.
I can't tell if it's the mic on the monitor or if it's just the recording of the song, but like that like reverb on basically everything.
Yeah.
It's really echoey.
It's very. It's
I sound a little
than,
echoey too, though. So
it's different than the other songs. No, they definitely mixed this one different.
Yeah.
They mixed all of them. You ever listen to Funkadelic, Free Your Mind? Apparently that record was mixed on acid, and you can definitely tell. But like, you know, if they were in the studio and getting wacky, they were definitely getting a little wacky.
Yeah. I mean, it's good though. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a classic.
But if we were listening to this in '73, we might be thinking like, I don't know, man. This is fucking. What were they thinking? I mean, you still say that now, but now I admire it. Now I love it.
Yeah.
You know, like then I might have been like, yeah, I don't know if I can listen to this too much.
Yeah, this sounds like they were probably like, you know, tripping out, and they were trying to like get back to like a, you know, like midnight at the beach playing bongos or something. You know what I mean? Like that. It's that kind of weird, like trippy, like it's more like a space jam, like you know, like something around a fire with an acoustic guitar kind of thing or something.
Right. This is just full volume.
Yeah, it just happens to be full volume because it's the Stooges, but but it's more like it's their equivalent to like the, you know, because you figure what were these guys? What were their influences? You know what I mean? Like it was
blues.
Probably, yeah, exactly.
Blues, right?
Yeah, and mostly old stuff. You know, there wasn't. We take it for granted now. We have all of this stuff behind us.
Right.
They kind of didn't have it. You know, they had very little.
They had to fucking make it.
And they definitely did. You know, with that.
Yeah. Now what the fuck do we do?
Yeah, man.
But you gotta admit, this fucking mix on this record is so weird.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that guitar is so fucking loud.
Yeah, on all of the record, James Williamson, I think Bowie might have had a crush on him. James Williamson is the loudest thing on this record.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's how he ended that interview I heard.
Yeah, like I'm the loudest thing on the record.
Just like, you know,
I'm not even original Stooge.
Right. He's just like whatever mistakes or whatever we made, you know. I still think it sounds like a great record. I mean, Bowie made me sound awesome.
Exactly, and he did, man. Which is the cool thing about it, but also like the weird thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I mean, considering the band's history, like, okay, he wasn't the original guitar player, but he did a good job on this record.
Oh, he did a sick job.
He's He's a good guitar player.
And I mean, he was an old bud. He's one of the Ann Arbor guys. Like, he wasn't some outsider. He was, like, part of the crew. You know what I mean? He was already deep in, like, he was a bud. You know what I mean? It's not some guy from Cleveland, you know what I mean?
Right.
He was, like, one of them.
He was, like, already part of the crew.
Yeah.
Like, actually, he was in a band at the same time in Ann Arbor. And just, you know, not obviously as big or an influential band, but they probably shared a bill. And a few times, and I guess when the shit went down with the original guitar player, Iggy happened to just ask him, you know, and it worked out.
Yeah, man, because this record's classic, man. And it's sick. This vocal, like, this is definitely a different, like, style than any of the first, you know, than Funhouse or the Stooges' first record.
Right.
Like, it's definitely bumps it up. You know, they take it down, they take it up, they take it around.
Yeah.
They're definitely trying on different shit. You know, it's like more rock and rolly, but it definitely also it's just more raw too.
Yeah.
You know? It's like both.
Yeah, you know what I think I like about this record? Is it feels like I'm at a show.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
This is the band that could pull that off. Because not every band can pull it off. Like, you make a live record, it's just like, I don't like live records for the most part.
I know, because they're not as good as the record.
Usually. They're not as good as what they recorded, but this is what you were going to get.
Yeah, when you saw them live, you were going to see this, except there'd be more sweat and more blood.
Yeah, in potential danger.
Yeah.
Like they might hurt you somehow.
Yeah, or scare you at least. I just thought, like, you know, when you go out, it's so late at night, you want to be like, you want to be made awake. Like, you're already fighting going to sleep, you know what I mean? So, like, when you go out to see a show, you want something that's going to grab you and, like, make you feel like, all right, I'm awake, I'm alive, this is what, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I love listening to mellow music, but it's usually, like, at home when I'm, you know, chilling, you know what I mean? Not when I'm out and about and, like,
somewhere where it's safe for me to cry.
Yeah, exactly.
I put some shit on, just wrecks me. I got a story for you. We'll stop this song when it reaches its end. I'll tell you a story. It just happened to be today. It just happened.
It just happened to be today. After work.
During work. Yeah. Oh shit! Watch out.
Hot to beat.
See how fucking fragile this fucking setup is? It sucks.
It's alright. We're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah. But we're not moshing or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
If we were,
they'd be all over.
Gotta do a little production.
What I like about this shit is it just sounds like it's bubbling. Like it's just so like you said, it sounds like a show. It sounds more like live. Like this isn't studio, like playing to a click track. This isn't like they're all playing together. You can tell.
Oh yeah.
They're like it's going.
Right.
And they're like going for it. Like they're rolling the tape and it's going.
Right. And so Bowie wasn't sitting in on it?
I don't think so, man. I'm pretty sure they were left to their own devices.
Yeah.
And that's like.
And he came back and just like, holy shit, you did this?
Yeah. And I think he was kind of bummed out from what I heard. And then he like tried to fix it or something.
Right.
But like he didn't realize that what he had was pure genius, you know? And in hindsight, he probably does or did.
Coming from him, I mean, that's.
Yeah, I mean, his shit was awesome at the time. It was just different.
Yeah.
He just came to America and like fell in love with like the real shit, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Man Who Sold the World was after the Stooges.
Yeah.
Not before.
Yeah.
That record's awesome. I love it because it sounds like fake Stooges.
Right.
That's why that record's so good.
Bowie was everywhere, man. He was just. Yeah, so you can hear that reverb in that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, something about the fucking music that makes you cry. I've been known as that guy for a long time. You know, like that's
it
how
just
people.
hits your, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just something like so. I was thinking this morning. I was just like, you know what? I haven't really felt sad lately. Like everything's been like pretty cool. Like everything, like being here in my house and like working and the kids and all that stuff. I'm just like, I haven't like been sad in a while. Actually, you know what? I haven't been drinking.
Maybe that's why they say alcohol is a depressant.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I mean, I used to like have, well, back when I was a fucking young, insane person, I would drink fucking, I think I had a problem.
Yeah.
Like 6, 7
if
minimum.
If you think you had a problem, you probably.
6 or 7 minimum a night, every night of the week.
Oh my God, dude. I've never done that.
Yeah? Oh,
Hell
shit.
No.
All right, so maybe.
That's all right, man.
I have my demons too, you know?
I mean, you know, I definitely like, you know, smoke weed every night.
Yeah. And well, I would do that too, but yeah, so I don't know, maybe that's it.
Was that when you were working at Trinity?
Did that before then, like just being in the band, like as a high schooler.
That's the lifestyle.
I've been playing out since I was 15, so it's like
there you go, man.
I wasn't drinking a lot then, but as soon as I hit 21, it was just like
game on.
Yeah. So I was experienced by the time I hit 21, so I was like, this is easy for me to do. Yeah, I think I can manage this, and so I managed for a long time. but yeah, I've chilled out a lot. So
right on, man. You enjoy it more.
I do. Yeah.
I've taken, I mean, I remember experimenting in high school and as a teenager early on and just being turned off by getting so sick and stuff, you know, doing too much and then coming back to it and then like, you know, starting off slow, but then getting, you know, crazy at it, you know, but just like here and there, like, and then just being like, all right, I'm all done for a year, you know, and then coming back to it, you know what I mean? Like, I've had this like love-hate relationship with it. So luckily I've, you know, kind of kept it at bay.
That's good. Obviously better than me, so that's good.
When I got divorced, I definitely like went out, you know, a few times a week, you know, and got kind of buzzed, you know, more than I did when I was younger and stuff. But,
right. Well, that seems well earned.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what else do you really do?
Yeah, exactly. But alcohol is a funny thing, man.
It can be
strong. It's you know, it can be a hard drug when used inappropriately. It becomes a hard drug. Mm-hmm. I think.
I think I have the proof of that. But I'm all right now. But so I wasn't sad, right?
Yeah.
I'm not
so you're
sad.
like, what? Yeah.
That sounds awesome. But I was at work and I usually like put earbuds on and listen to music or podcasts or something. And I was just like, shit, I haven't been sad. You know what? I think I really want to listen to Johnny Cash.
Awesome.
The American recordings.
The Rick Rubin shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was 5. Mm-hmm. I forget which one it was. No, the
5.
Because there was the whole series of them.
Yeah.
I think it was the 5th one, but it had Bridge Over Troubled Water and like fucking Hurt by Trent Reznor.
And at that point when those were recorded, he was old.
Yeah.
He was an old
You can
guy,
hear it.
And you can hear it in his voice shaky and kind of like, it's cool.
Hits
Rick
me.
Rubin knows how to do it, man.
Yeah. And I heard actually they made tapes. And I think he might release them. I think I heard something about him considering releasing it.
Whoa, like interviews and stuff?
No, like fucking demoing prior to the record. Like he was just hanging out with Johnny.
Yeah.
And was just like, Johnny, just play me some songs, you know? And he would just have his tape deck right there, sitting like you and I are on.
And it probably sounds just as good as the recordings.
Even if it didn't.
Yeah.
Just to hear him with his guitar as an old man.
Yeah. And doing it like on the fly.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Just doing covers, like just old country covers.
Yeah.
That
Songs
he knows.
that you never heard that he never did.
Yeah.
You know? That's
and it's just
great.
but songs that he would obviously play every fucking day or whenever.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, because that stuff gets passed down and you just play it for the sheer enjoyment.
Right.
Whether no one's listening or not.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he was a motherfucker.
He was, man.
So yeah, those songs, man, like really fucking hit me.
Yeah, they can do the tear jerk.
Yeah, I'm like walking around and it's like everyone's, you know, there's the crazy crying mailman. All right, cool, man.
You have your earbuds in, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, sometimes I listen to The Moth.
Man, sometimes it's just a TV commercial, man. We all, you know.
It could be anything these days.
Everyone who's alive has been through stuff.
Yeah.
And it reminds you of something or whatever.
Right? But music's got that fucking power.
Hell yeah, man. I get, like, they say there's, like, 2 kinds of people. People that, when you hear certain music, it gives you the shivers or makes the hairs stand on your neck or whatever, and then sometimes that doesn't happen to people.
Yeah.
But it definitely happens to me.
Sad life, those guys.
I don't know, man. Yeah, that don't get it.
Yeah.
Music's definitely like, when you hear something crazy or awesome,
right,
or whatever, sad, emotional.
Yeah.
You definitely, I get the willies sometimes. I get a shiver, like, ooh.
Right. Do you ever feel embarrassed for an artist? You ever hear a song that makes you be like,
yeah, like, oh man.
Why did they record that song?
Usually when you see it performed live and you're like, ooh.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure I've been that. I've probably been that guy. I don't know, like, to someone else maybe. You know what I mean? Like he's sticking his tongue out, or like, why is he doing that?
Oh, he's running around on fire.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, something like that. I mean, I would never like pull my pants down or anything, but
if the evening calls for it, yeah. But I mean,
this guy.
What situation?
This guy did it, and I've seen some bands. See David Yao pull out his junk.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's not my stick, man. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I don't get no nudity and
no nudity,
no
man.
defecation.
Yeah, no, none of that GG.
No bodily fluids.
Yeah, no. Maybe if a little bit of snot or spray happens
snot and
because
spit
of
and blood.
Yeah, and that
those
happens.
Can happen.
Those happen by approximation, or
right.
They just happen,
yeah.
but not like no defecation for sure. No. Oh my God!
Like puking.
I had chances to see Gigi Allen, from a teenager into my early 20s, and I
gave it up
said,
every time.
I just was like, no thanks, man. All set. Like, who goes there knowing like maybe I'll get fucking poop thrown at me? I don't know, man.
Maybe I'll get puked on. I don't know.
Yeah. Or like, I'm all set with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like horror movies, but I don't really like torture porn. I don't like Saw. I don't like,
yeah.
I mean, I've seen the first one, but like, I don't need to see any others. Like, some stuff you like and some you kind of like, nah, I'm all set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beheading videos on YouTube. I don't really do that. You know what I mean?
You're right.
The guy getting, fucked by the horse.
Yeah,
I don't do that. I don't
bad
like
shit
need to.
there.
Yeah, dark web shit. I'm all set with. Some people really dig it, man.
Right.
But, I don't know, to each their own,
Yeah. I can hear you on the Gigi Allen thing. Like,
yeah, he just turned me off, man.
Yeah.
I always thought.
But he's got a following. Like, I mean.
Oh yeah, man.
Really
I love the documentary, that Hated in the Nation.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I don't think I have.
Dude, it's fun to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not there and like.
Yeah.
Having to be there, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's definitely like something. It's part of music history, and that's what makes it cool,
So we can see it through those brave souls at the time that were like, I'm going to pay to see him and hang out there, and some other guy paid to come in with a camera.
Yeah,
and fucking
man, he would like seek people out that were trying to hide from him and stuff. You know what I mean? Like there was no like, hell no, man.
That's horrible.
No thanks.
Yeah. Shit.
But the Jabbers, man. I mean, his first band, they were definitely
Jabbers.
Yeah, Gigi Allen and the Jabbers. Like, before he went like crazy. He went to jail, and that's kind of when he went real bonkers.
Oh, really?
The early band is more like a Boston. I mean, they were from New Hampshire, but they might as well have been like a Boston new wave band. They were like new wave punk rock. They weren't like hardcore or anything.
Yeah.
And that stuff's kind of cool. It's kind of catchy. It's kind of like. The Cars with an Edge or something.
Yeah, I mean, hardcore music's fine. I mean, I'll get into some of that.
Oh yeah, I love that.
But as soon as you start shitting and stuff like that, that's when I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, I'm sure he just maybe took what this guy thought he was doing and like I'm gonna do it further. Oh, I don't know what he thought, man.
Yeah,
but that
maybe
definitely
didn't think at all.
Yeah.
It's just that thing that's in you, like
the
music
exactly.
starts playing and you're
maybe,
like, I gotta do this.
Yeah, that was exactly. This is what and I mean, I'm guilty, but he had to do that.
Right.
That's pretty out there, man.
Yeah.
That is very out there.
I guess that's why those few people that were there had to see it, because they were like, he's fucking preaching himself.
Yeah,
fully.
He wasn't doing anybody else.
Right.
He was doing him.
Right. Well, he did a few others too, just kind of as bystanders
on stage. I think. Yeah. Oh, they did him. I don't know.
No, they were like just casualties, just fallout from the fucking thing that he was doing.
Yeah.
All right, let's play this next song. Oh shit, I just knocked it out of place. You know what it was? It was the last song. Side A. That's a good riff.
Penetration. This is a creepy one. whispery vocals.
Yeah. You know what's really creepy? I think I actually put this song on a mixtape for an ex-girlfriend.
Whoa. You're like, hey, baby.
I was never into lyrics before. I was like music
the way
to
it
me,
sounded.
Yeah, I was just like, this is an awesome
like,
feel, right?
Yeah. And then you're like, wait, what is he saying?
Oh, he's talking about
shit.
She fucking probably.
Yeah. She probably thought like that motherfucker, my ex-boyfriend. Thank you.
Listening to it now would be that, but then it'd be like,
at the time.
I don't know about this guy.
All right, you were still going out or going out.
Yeah, we were
recording,
like dating or something.
Yeah, dating. All right, that makes more sense. I was gonna say like I made this for my ex-girlfriend. Like,
oh no,
I thought you meant like,
that would be
current.
worse.
Like, yeah, that would be like horrid, man.
That'd be like what the fuck is this guy's problem?
I know you're not into me anymore, but hey.
Yeah, that wouldn't go over very well, I think. But no, at the time, it's still
that could be sexy, man.
I don't know. Maybe I was going for that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you didn't even know it.
It was just subliminal. It's very subliminal.
Some serious swagger here.
Yeah.
That guitar intro and stuff, like, I don't know, a lot of music did not sound like this in 1973.
I don't think any of it did.
Yeah, I don't think anything sounded like this. I mean, okay, it's kind of rock and roll, but it's like, I mean, it's almost like more of like a heavy metal riff, you know what I mean? Like when he starts off by himself, it's kind of muted, palm muted.
Yeah. Still hear it in the background.
Songs that were kind of like that, you know, like obviously Communication Breakdown, fucking Paranoid, Black Sabbath, you know, they'll have that Deep Purple, whatever, you know, everyone that had their version of it, but
Guaranteed Bowie free.
Isn't that hilarious? Oh, that's hilarious. That's why I brought it, because I
kind of mad about it, huh?
Be part of the story, you know?
Yeah.
This record.
They're gonna do a track isolation of that one.
Yeah, like, you know, you ever hear the David Lee Roth acapella?
I think I heard it once, and then it got pulled down.
So good. He's like, I'm gonna talk about him.
Yeah, all that weird shit, that scatty
like
shit.
Scatting and shit, like, it's fucking hilarious.
He's a maniac.
Yeah, this shit would sound like that, but probably even like 10 times more crazy.
I wonder. That'd be cool. If anyone out there does that track isolation,
Rabbit.
we're requesting Iggy Pop's Raw Power.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. All right. Conclusion of side one.
Nice.
Do you want a side two?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Can I get you some rocks?
Yes.
Have to avoid your cord. So I didn't know how much you knew about the history of that record.
You mean more or less?
Like, no, I didn't know if
less
you
or
like
more?
how much you knew about the history, like, because obviously you knew about the controversy of the mixing. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So look at that guy. You know, you obviously know the band lined up. You know the band's history, shit like that. So
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Like, have you ever listened to the first pressing of this record?
Yeah, I had you know friends that had it. I think that was another Salvation Army find that my buddy Jay Tatro got.
Though it was
My
the
band,
original mix,
Sourpuss.
though, because I don't know when we switched over to a different mix.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Was it some point in the 80s or
have
was
no
it the
idea.
reissue when Iggy did it? Like, I don't really know. I know, like, you know, there's a copy. I have a beat up copy that I think has a gatefold, I want to say.
Oh, yeah?
Does that sound right?
I'm not
Maybe
sure.
it opens up and it has another picture inside or something. I don't know. I might be making that up.
It'd have to be a later pressing.
Yeah,
it wouldn't
exactly.
Be the 70s.
That wouldn't be this one. Yeah.
No.
Maybe I might be making that up. I'm not sure, but
I could look it up.
I mean,
later,
I definitely had friends that had found the Salvation Army copies. Like that's before eBay or whatever. You know, if you didn't go to a record store and spend $20 on a classic record, you just thoroughly search through Salvation Army and you'd find, I know we got this one and that, like I said, that Blue Chair record, the first one, and a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, you won't anymore though.
Not anymore.
I check them out all the time, and I'm just like, there's nothing really good here.
Just like you're not gonna find cool clothes anymore. When I was in high school, in the 80s, I found the best bell bottoms and like 70s clothing because that was the time period. It was the 80s, and now it's the 2018s or whatever. You're gonna find stuff from the early 2000s or like it's garbage. You're not gonna find like cool
nothing
stuff.
Nothing quality.
Yeah,
made.
just not like the style, whatever. Everything's you're not gonna find like. Yeah, it was awesome stuff when I was going to like Salvation Army in Woonsocket in 87 when I was like 16 years old. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That one's 3 levels.
Yeah, exactly. The furniture on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that one was cool, man.
Yeah, I've been there recently because we actually bought our couch we have.
Nice.
There. Yeah, because friend of Jess's from work was just like, I just got this couch for like $20.
Hell yeah.
And he's just like, it's like beautiful, it's brand new, and he was just like,
go to the Salvation Army.
Awesome. And so we did, and
that one's cool, man.
Yeah,
I haven't been there in a while, maybe a couple of years, but I always pop through. I grew up there in northern Rhode Island,
right? So. It's better when you're just popping through and just like going every now and then. Like if you go often, it's just you just see how everything's getting picked through, and like whatever they get, like whatever they bring on, it's just like, this is kind of gross. So. I don't know. That's that. So you, I don't buy clothes anymore. Do you buy clothes?
Not really. I mean, most of my friends' bands give me T-shirts.
There you go.
And that, I wear the T-shirts of the bands with my friends and stuff.
Right.
And, every once in a while I have to, grab some Levi jeans or something.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
Pack some underpants once in a while.
I wear those like 4 days out of the week or something, and then wash them.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, right. I have 3 or 4 pairs of jeans, and I wear them like that covers me for a month.
Yeah. We're easy people.
Exactly, man.
We're trying to be more sustainable.
It's more like recycling. You know what I mean?
No, it's just,
I
it's just
still
like
pick through. I go to
resources.
Savers if I can find a brand new pair of decent Levi's at Savers for $5 instead of spending $40 on a brand new pair, or I'll wait for the Bob's coupon or whatever and get 3 pairs or something. But other than that,
we're doing the world a service because we're not even washing. We're not using our resources. We're not using water.
Yeah,
very little power. We don't have to run a washing machine every
now and then. I don't
shower
shower every day, especially in the winter. That's not good for your skin.
No,
most Americans do, but that's not good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never had a skin problem.
There's
I've only once a week in the winter, man.
Yeah. I do it too. It's like when I work, I'm gross.
Yeah, of course. If you work and get gross, that's one thing. But I mean, if you're not really disgusting,
if you're just hanging out all day, just taking it easy.
Yeah, you definitely don't have to. Less is more, man.
I hear what you mean, man. All right, so should we do side 2?
Side 2.
Side 2, starting off with Raw Power. Cheers, man.
Love this tune. It's got that cool skip groove, like that Stoogey.
Spin it up there a little bit. He's getting fancy now. Watch out. He might put a second finger in there.
Ding, 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 ding. It's so primitive. Like, that's what makes it rock and roll, you know? It's just like...
It's just nothing like it. It's just like... If you didn't hear this before, how would you make this?
Yeah.
You know, like... It just doesn't make sense.
I think they were just tripping out at, like, rock and roll riffs, but just, like, taking them nowhere. Instead of going somewhere with it, they were like, we're going nowhere. They were just, like, keeping it, like, in the same position. You know, like, not moving their hand. Just kind of, like, the groove. They were probably really stoned, man. That's what I'm thinking. What experience. Because you can get really, like, over-arrange your stuff, you know what I mean? And, like, they definitely did not over-arrange it. They were, like, very minimal, like, streamlined, efficient. And they might go up a step. But, like, it's very repetitive, you know? It's, like, almost hypnotic.
There's, like, two riffs in this song.
Yeah, but they talk about that. Like, you know, Iggy Pop's been interviewed, especially in the last 20 years. He's, like, always the spokesman for something, you know?
Right.
That Jim Jarmusch movie is awesome. Have you seen that?
Oh, is it a documentary?
Yeah.
No.
It was at the cable car last year, the year before. It was pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
Footage and stuff. Footage of the MC5 too. Like, really? Stuff you haven't really seen yet. You gotta check out. Look it up, man. Jim Jarmusch.
My fucking stylist is not. I'm really surprised how well I can hear it in the cans. I hope this is like coming through on the video and on the audio. Like, it sounds good to me right now.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you mean if the level is right or whatever?
yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
But it's digital, so I think they can always turn it up.
Yeah.
Without a buzz. It's not like analog where, like, you got the hiss.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you hear the
That
analog
is.
because it's
That's
picking the
true.
mic
That's
up.
true.
The mic's picking up the sound coming through the speakers.
Yeah, so there is a little that's the hiss, but as far as our voices,
Oh, yeah, no,
there's no
without-
hiss.
I don't give a fuck about our voices. I want to hear this fucking record.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be good. I mean, we might be a little bit over the record when we're talking.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
First
We
episode I
won't know
did.
until we hear it.
That's why my fucking first episode sucks, because I didn't know.
Oh yeah, I didn't know the levels.
Yeah, I was just like,
What was your
because
first?
I was thinking the record, I was playing it loud,
Yeah,
and talking
yeah.
like this. That thing's not hearing me. You got to put the
Yeah.
audio under all of the video.
Yeah.
So that's what we're hopefully doing this time. So
Right on. We'll find out. We'll find out.
cheers. This fucking song, huh?
This is like an oldie timey thing.
That was a good riff for Ron, being the guitar player originally, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I really don't know like who gets credited for like writing what riffs. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe Ron's playing this so powerful on the bass. Maybe he came with a riff for this one and showed it to James Williamson.
Yeah.
They probably switched them up back and forth.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, I know the story goes that Iggy tried a bunch of different people in the UK and nothing was working out, and he's like, I want my guys. You know what I mean? Got the Ashton brothers back.
Right.
So I'm sure they contributed to songwriting and,
Yeah. Well, so you play with a bunch of different guys, like in a bunch of different bands.
Yeah.
So do you don't worry about the whole publishing thing, right?
I've never done any of that.
Really?
Never, on any of it. I've never published anything.
Right. Well, I mean, you have records out.
Yeah.
You got a lot of records out.
I have no idea. I've written a lot of riffs, man.
Right.
A lot of words, but no idea.
Yeah, that's weird. So, I mean,
it's always collective. It's a collective, man.
Right. But so when you guys sell the records, I mean, where's the money go?
Yeah. I mean,
just the label? The label just takes it all?
I guess if it's like, usually record labels pay the bands in records. Like we'll give you like 100 records.
And so you sell your product.
Yeah,
you
take
get
100 out of like 1,000. You get 10% or something, and that's it. Like there's nothing else. Like you get your records. Because you make your money, and a lot of bands, even like Britney Spears, probably makes more money selling T-shirts than records.
Yeah,
the record companies take the record money.
That's a totally fucking different level,
Yeah, but I mean, even that down to the local bands. Right. If they don't put out their own record and put their own money into it and then make their own money back, and a record label does it, the record company pays for the recording, pays for this, pays for that. You get usually paid in records.
Right.
I don't think you really get anything. If you want to do the whole BMI, ASCAP, like whatever, you can get a little royalty check. Like I'm pretty sure, Will from the White Mice is pretty on it. Every time a college radio station lists it, they average it or whatever, and he gets, a check at the end of the year for a few $100 or something. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it. But like most musicians aren't organized enough to get that shit done. I never did that.
That's what the label's for.
I mean, I have no complaints because I just like that it's a document that it exists, more than anything else. I don't expect any financial gain from playing music because then I'd have to pay taxes on it.
Right.
Which
Right.
So I'm just in it for the music,
Yeah, my fucking
for the money, but that's what makes it that kind of music, and not like some pop music or something. We just play what we want to play. We make it, we record it.
Right. If you want to like it, you can fucking like it. If you don't,
then we don't give a fuck. Yeah. We don't fucking care. And that's like, when I got into music, that was the kind of music I got into. Being a skateboarder and finding out about punk rock in the back of Thrasher magazine, and then going to the shows at the living room when I was a teenager in the 80s, mid-80s. It was just... all of a sudden, like,
the living room was the place to be.
Yeah, man.
Too.
Hell yeah, man. There would be 300 people at a local show in the middle of the week.
That's
and
awesome.
Like, as long as I went to school the next day, my mom let me go. So I had like the single parent thing going, so I was like lucky I could talk her into it. Somehow, like, I talked her into letting me go. Like, I got stabbed in the head at a Dead Milkmen show, and I was still able to go, like, to the next show.
Yeah.
I had 5 staples put in my head. I still have the scar. Yeah.
Stabbed with what?
Like, it was like some, like, Nazi skinhead guy, like a big spiked ring. Back in the day, they giant rings with spikes on them. Just, like, ripped my head open. I know why I was in the pit at the Dead Milkmen show, because I was a 15-year-old, 16-year-old skate rat kid, like bouncing around in the, circle pit or whatever. But like, it was just like giant dudes in the middle, just like clocking kids, like that's what it was like back then.
Damn.
It was crazy, man. It was awesome.
Getting stabbed in the head, that was awesome, man.
I feel so fortunate to have experienced the hardcore punk scene in the mid-'80s as an underground, like, part of American youth culture.
Right, yeah, man. I mean, you get something stabbed in your head, like, every now and then.
That Lollapalooza that wasn't it, man. That was not it.
No, anyone that was thinking that was just like, oh, I went to Lollapalooza, I was fucking, like, crowd surfing. It's like, no, you missed out, buddy.
Yeah, the Lupos, the living room, these places, and I missed some shit, you know what I mean? But I got in at the tail end, got to see.
I mean, you missed these guys. You never saw this.
Yeah, I missed these guys, But I got to see a ton of bands,
And still do.
Yeah, I still do, man. I still go, and I'm a fan. I was a fan first, and I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm still doing it.
You gotta love it, man. Love it. I'm sad that I don't get out to more shows. You know,
man. Once things settle down,
yeah,
get the job, and the kids are kind of more like going and stuff. That's when I was like, you know, it took me a while. I have an 11-year-old, you know, and at first I remember I definitely, you know, took a little break. You know, I don't even think it was a year or two, but you know, slowed down, and then like, you know, and obviously a divorce will like, you know, give you some free time. But yeah, I definitely like, you know, got right back into playing, you know.
Yeah,
because I can't imagine not.
That's exactly the difference. Yeah.
Exactly. And I love playing with all these. It's cool because now the scene is like, you know, who's left. You know what I mean? It's like you meet other people like that were in other scenes that like, you know, maybe you didn't know when you were younger. Because you know the scene has been so fractured by all the subgenres and shit. You know, but now like we're kind of coming back together because it's like who's standing. You know, who's left. You know what I mean? So it's like the other like 40, 50-year-old people like, you know, playing music, you know. So that's cool. And then, you know, we'll play shows with younger people too, but, you know, it's just cool to see, you know, and if it's a certain style, like, you know, extreme metal, you'll get the gamut, you know, you get young bands and old guys and everything in between, you know. Yeah. But it's funny because, you know, a lot of the younger guys, you know, you hear comments about dad rock and this shit and that shit. And like, you're just like, whatever, rock? Man, in 5-10 years, you're going to be like that shit you're making fun of, you know what I mean? So like, you better keep it real, man. Because
some guys turn into dads, you know?
Exactly.
Then you start listening to rock, now it's dad rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck off, man.
But like, you know, we'll see who's standing, you know what I mean? Who's left.
Yeah.
It's like, I haven't been to a high school reunion, right? And I graduated Cumberland High, 89. And I'm going to go, but it's going to be like, you know, 50. It's going to be like, you know, something like that. Or like 75. You know what I mean? It's like you and the last 10 people there looking at each other like, yep, I remember you.
Yeah, there won't be many left.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know?
That's who's still lit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the music scene right now is like one of those like the dark ages, you know?
Right.
Is it really going? Like there's some stuff going on in Olneyville. There's some stuff downtown, but it's not quite as vibrant. A lot of bands skip Providence now, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's
you
a
have
lot
to go
less
up to
venues,
Boston,
right?
you know? I'll go up to Boston. I see a show, you know, that's fine.
Right.
Been up, you know, several times in the last year to see stuff up there.
Yeah.
You know, it's 45 minutes.
Yeah, no one fucking told me about the
MC
Jesus Lizard show.
Oh, the Jesus Lizard.
And the MC5
MC50.
show at 5, yeah.
MC1. It was just Wayne Kramer, but it was the 50th anniversary of the record Kick Out the Jams,
right.
and they killed it. They were awesome.
Really?
The sound man kind of dropped the ball a little bit, but, you know, that's all right.
Did it sound like this?
It did not sound like this.
No.
It was like the guitar was like, what? Like the one guy that's like the original guy, like they turned him up by the second song, but I was livid, man.
Really?
Yeah, I was like right underneath the soundboard, and I was like, what the fuck? The first break. Like,
what did they start off with?
I was like, turn up the guitar, motherfucker. Ramblin' Rose, they did the whole Kick Out the Jams record
from the beginning to end.
Yeah, with the intro. They had the intro dubbed, you know, and then like, you know, came out and like did it along with it, and then kicked out Ramblin' Rose, Kick Out the Jams. I mean, they did pretty much the whole thing. They did Rocket Reducer number 62.
Yeah,
you know, Ramalama 555. They did Motor City's Burning.
Sorry, my emails.
Motor City Burning, Starship, the Sun Ra cover. And they did some cool, weird noise stuff in between the songs. Like, they were legit, man. They would, you know, studio musicians. And they're the guy from Soundgarden, you know, Kim Thile.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was badass, man. They had it was all heavy hitters. It was all pro rock guys.
Wow.
But they, like, learned it as best they could, and they did it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I only heard about like the anniversary of like a fucking ad on the computer.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't look into it too much. All I saw that they were happening in Boston. I was like, oh fuck! Like
I got to see it. Like a friend was sick, and I got a free ticket. Nice. She emailed it to me. Like she was living in Boston now. Like I didn't think I was going. I woke up that morning, never knew I'd be going to Boston to see the MC50 that night. But it was cool. I got to party with some old buds, other musicians, and it was wicked cool.
That's awesome.
But the Lizard, man, talk about a reunion. That they were sick. All original members. They sound just like the record live. That was sick. David Yao, 57 years old.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I'm sure Wayne Kramer's, he's in his 60s, but David Yao, 57, still acting like he's 25 or whatever. I mean, I saw the Jesus Lizard in 89 in Providence at the Rocket when, 15 people tops were there.
Shit.
So I saw them in their first tour. Like, I thought I was going to see a Big Black Side project because it was produced by Steve Albini and it had a drum machine and it was just the EP was out. I don't think Head was even out yet. It's just the first record, Pure.
Shit. Wow.
And I was like, there was this drunk little guy playing pool all night with a denim like shirt, pants, cowboy boots. Like, I thought he was some Fall River freak, you know what I mean? Like, and then like when the Jesus Lizard went on, that guy went up and grabbed the bike and just started like, they were already playing, and then he came out of like, nowhere, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh man, like, holy shit, like, took me a second.
Wow.
And it was brilliant.
And it was David Yao.
And he was doing the same shit. If there were 200 people there, he was like, crowd surfing with nobody. He was like basically jumped off the stage and landed on his head and was just rolling around on the floor. Like, I'm like, whoa, man.
Yeah. That's one of those experiences that just fucks you up for life. You're like, give me more of that.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah. Like I said, and that was 89. I was, 89, I was 17, 18, turning 18 that summer, but I was probably 17. I think it was still during the school year when I saw it.
Yeah.
I got to see a lot of cool stuff, man. I feel pretty fortunate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't have made that show. I would have been 9.
Yeah, you would have been 9. You can't help when you're born, man.
Yeah.
I have friends that got to see, stuff that I didn't get to see, but
right.
I feel pretty appreciative and lucky for
you
the
should,
stuff
man.
I got to see.
You fucking, you saw it and you make it, too.
Yeah, man.
It's a motherfucker.
This stuff is inspiring,
Yeah.
And when you go out, like I said before, you want to be, like, shaken awake,
Right.
You want to try and, like, inspire someone to,
That's what I heard
be
recently.
alive.
I listened to Joe Rogan a lot, and he was
cool.
talking about how, what's his name? No, not Joe Moody. Who's Pryor's old writer? Richard Pryor.
Oh, Richard Pryor's old writer?
Something Moody.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Joe Moody?
Joe Moody is a Providence recording engineer that just passed away a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not thinking about it.
Well, that's the Joe Moody I know. Maybe it's Joe Moody. Maybe it's another Joe Moody.
Something Mooney was talking to him, and he had said something along the lines of, like, I don't know what they were talking about, but he said, you gotta get out and you gotta get entertained more.
Yeah.
He's like, because that's like where the inspiration comes from.
Exactly.
The more you go out and seeing people do the shit that you want to do.
Yeah.
And
man.
like it fucking touches you, and you just kind of in that moment. The more you want to go back and like start doing that yourself.
Yeah, man, exactly. Back to the Von Ryan Express, man. It was Jeremiah's younger brother, John. And I grew up with him in Cumberland. We were in Cub Scouts together and stuff. So when he started playing music, then we started going to see it. And then like when we started Von Ryan Express, we would see Six Finger Satellite play. And then after the gig, we would go to the practice space and like smoke some weed and like jam for like hours.
With the band.
Yeah, we would just like, or me and John even, like we would just, we were just so inspired and psyched after seeing something. We'd be like, fuck going home. Like, you know what I mean? We'd go to the practice space and then play music for another couple hours and crash out there, on the couch or whatever, and just wake up and split,
Yeah. Was that the Parlor?
Before the Parlor, we were in the same mill complex in Pawtucket, right off of 95, the Carpet Factory. Vital Remains were in there. Like, it was a bunch of bands.
Jam Stage is now?
I don't know if that's where Jam Stage is.
Is it that
I'm not
same
sure.
building?
By Schoolhouse Candy. I've never been to Jam Stage. I've heard a lot about it, Rent by the Hour and stuff.
Yeah,
I've never been there.
I don't like it.
I've always had like spaces in Olneyville on my basement,
Yeah.
Yeah, to spend $20 an hour. I mean, in LA, we've done that, when Landed had to play out there.
If you got to prep for a show and you're already out there, I mean, that makes sense. And they do that. Actually, Deer Tick was there recently.
Awesome.
Because they were getting ready for tour. They all met here because they guess some of the guys still
and like
live
jam
here.
stage, it's set up. You got
Right.
amps, you got everything.
Oh, they
Drums.
rented the big room.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
The stage.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was just like I happened to be there that night. I was jamming with these other guys.
Oh, cool.
And I was just like, what the fuck's with the tour bus? Like, walk in and like I see John
Dear
Macaulay
Dick.
walk by.
Whoa.
Like, oh shit, these
That's
guys are here.
so awesome, though.
Yeah, but so actually we were in the room right next to their room, so it's like we could hear them practicing. I was just like, maybe we should shut up for a minute, just listen, just put your ear to the wall for a little minute.
That's cool.
You know?
Yeah.
Because they were prepping for their tour.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
I remember, practice spaces like Vinci over by the post office.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that space? Like,
Yeah.
it was going into the early 2000s, maybe.
We were there.
I was there
in
in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
I think, 91 maybe. Sourpuss was in there for a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
Because we started playing over at Joe's Garage. Like the Zappa record. It was Joe Prop's dad's garage, like Route 44, Seekonk.
Yeah.
And we like had the microphone taped to the jack, and I was playing. My bass rig was like a stereo head, my Kenwood stereo head.
Oh yeah.
And a 15-inch cab and like
whatever works back then, man.
Yeah, Joe had for his drum throne, he had 2 milk crates and a phone book. And it was like the perfect height. And that's what he rocked, man. But like for our first show, he borrowed like the giant metal kit with like the cage and like the double kicks, and like he played that thing like effortlessly, like he had that the whole time. We were like, what the hell?
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, man, that was funny, man.
That's crazy. All right, now, hey, I think we're on the last song, so let's.
Yes.
Is this the last song? This
is Death Trip.
This is what you wanted to hear. This
This
your
is my
song?
favorite one on the record because it's got that real Stooge vibe. It sounds like it could have been on Funhouse or something. It's got that. Yeah, that's all right. All right, bring it to the beginning. It's got a weird beginning. It's got some cool bass slide shit. And it's almost like the beginning of Loose. There we go. Song is I don't think there's a change in it.
It's the same riff throughout?
I think it's one riff, man. I'm pretty sure. But it's a good one.
Let's see. Let's see about that.
Should be cranked on this. Like, yeah. I mean, it sounds great because of the energy of it. You can, but like, if this was recorded like the way the Funhouse record is recorded, it would be like, it'd be heavy.
Yeah, and then even in the remix.
Make that lock, that groove come out like.
Yeah.
That snare drum. Loose on you. Loose on you. Loose on you. Loose on you. that's so like the opposite of like Eric Clapton or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's not in time. It's not like I mean, I don't know. Is he trying to play blues lick? I don't even know. Like, I don't. It doesn't even matter. It's like awesome. It's like it's more like. It's like this record is like an approximation of rock and roll. I mean, it's pure rock and roll, but like the actual riffage and like, you know, it's like an approximation, but it becomes something different. Because it's not like, it's like the exact opposite of like Stevie Ray Vaughan or B.B. King. You know, there's definitely, it's bluesy and there's a swagger to it, but
it's kind of just this weird like aggression to it, you know. It's just so kind of like mean sounding.
Yeah, like they were. I mean, this is the end, I think, right? As far as like the story goes, they didn't play much after this.
I don't know. Fucking.
Those pants are sick, man.
Dude, these pants. I was looking at this picture, and I was just like, it's got like this weird like leather strap that's been like fucking laced into the top of his fucking hot leather pant.
Yeah. It's so sick, skin tight.
Yeah, and it just ends right there. There's no like brace above it, you know. They like were made for him. Like they were like made onto him. See, it's weird how the guitar dropped out here.
Yeah.
And it's just like quiet.
Stopped.
Yeah. He dropped out so far ago though.
Yeah. I mean, the mix is just wacky. The whole thing is whacked out.
But even still, it's like you shouldn't have, like, why did the lead drop out that early into the song with, like, and they just kind of kept on thundering on, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll never know.
No, I mean, there's a couple guys we can ask about it, but
yeah,
I mean...
Yeah, there's a couple guys left you could ask about it.
But,
you got to check out that Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah,
I think the record's... I think the movie is called Gimme Danger, I think.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a trailer for it and telling my brother about it because he was such a big movie buff. And I was just like, did you hear about this Jim Jarmusch documentary about the Stooges? He's just like, no.
I saw it at the cable car.
How did you not hear about it? You're the one that's following movies. I heard about it.
Yeah. I saw it at the cable car. I saw it and I like kept waiting for the date and it was like to be announced. And I'm like, you know, checking the web page to find out when it was coming.
Yeah.
I've been going to the cable. I mean, it's closed now, right?
Yeah.
But I started going there in the 80s when I was a teenager. Take a date there. That's way cooler than the Cumberland Twin. I'll tell you that, man.
I bet, yeah. Especially those midnight movies, right?
Like couches and like, you know, go see Taxi Driver or something.
Yeah, if the movie sucks, you just move in and like fucking go for the kill. I mean, what can you do? But it's gone now, unfortunately, so that's sad.
It is.
Yeah.
Remember Paul Vieira worked there a long time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did, man.
I worked with him.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
He's
you were there too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place was cool, man.
It
Guy
was.
with the teddy bear song.
Elliot? Yeah. Elliot was fucking crazy. I haven't heard about what happened to him. I don't know where he is now.
No one knows, man.
No. There's
a lot of guys like that in town, like old sound men, you know, like you see a picture of them or you hear some story and you're like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Right. I don't know. And haven't heard anything bad, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
But I don't know. Hopefully they don't turn up, passed away or anything. miss out on that information, you know?
Oh, man, that was great listening to that record, man.
Thank you, man. I mean, thank you for coming and listening to it because I don't know. It was pretty, like, fun find.
Hell yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, I saw it, and I didn't know at the time anything about it as far as, like, you know, if it was a first pressing or not.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was just like, I got to get that.
Awesome.
I got to get that because I got to listen to it.
Yeah, yeah, and see what it sounds like. All the, you know, I've heard so many stories, and there's been so many mixes of it.
Right.
I'd like to hear that CD of it, of the Iggy version. Maybe he boosted the Ashen Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, the songs, like, it doesn't matter. Any mix of this record is cool because the songs are cool, you know?
Right.
And that's the end all of this one.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to hear the pure Stooges, man, you definitely, I think Funhouse is like, that's where it's at, man.
Yeah.
That
I was thinking
like,
about that too.
That one's just, and they re-released that. They did the Funhouse box set. It's like, you know, 33 versions of TVI. And so, I mean, it's for the nerds, man. But like, I think I have, you know, some of it or something. Maybe I got some digital files and I didn't grab all of it because who needs all of it?
Right.
But then they did Funhouse with on CD with an extra disc, and then they just had like a few alternate takes and stuff. And that was kind of cool too because you could kind of see them putting the songs together.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the ones they did like for the record with a like. You could tell they were really close to it, and they like one more, and then they, you know, nailed it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
because those songs kind of have a little bit of an improvisational.
I bet. You
know, the Funhouse with the sax, and like, you know, there's definitely, you know, all this stuff. You can hear it on this record. They're kind of winging it. You know, what I mean, some of those riffs, like some of those songs are one riff. You know, there's definitely songs with changes too, but like that last Death Trip songs, it's one riff. I mean, it's a long riff.
I wasn't paying attention now.
You have to re-listen to it. I don't think it changes,
I think
man.
It was, no, I think
it's
you're right.
one riff. I mean, it's a long riff, though.
Yeah. Well, it's just a few minutes of fucking chugging on in that fucking
But
riff,
I mean, like, the measure itself before it turns around and then starts over again is, like, quite an extension.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. The riff itself is, like, longer than, like, a normal... It's not like a 1, 2, 3, 4 chords and it's done.
Well, how can you tell if it's just repeating itself?
Well, like where the skip is. It's like ding ding dang doodle ding ding dang doodle ding ding dang doodle dang dang doodle dang
okay.
ding dang. It's longer than that. That was raw power. It's like it's kind of like raw power. It's very similar to the raw power riff, but it's in like an extended version of that riff. Mm-hmm. It's like goes on twice as long before the before it starts over again.
Yeah, okay.
You know, they always kind of have that weird turnaround.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to it again.
Yeah, I don't think there's any change.
I gotta see if I have that CD still because I don't think I have it. I don't know if I put it in my computer even. I don't know if I have those songs still.
One winter. I ripped all my discs that were rippable to my iTunes.
Yeah.
On my Windows XP system that I still have. No, I didn't crash it. The computer, I still use it as my jukebox for like outside because I have like a PA in the basement with a practice space, and I got my desktop down there. It doesn't hook up to the internet anymore, but it's still a stable system. So it's like basically like it's a jukebox with a shitload of iTunes on it.
Right.
So like I can just, you know, pick a genre and then, you know, shuffle, and then I got like a barbecue playlist or whatever, you know? So I still do that with that thing. And again, one winter, it took me like all winter to just every night I did like 2 or 3 discs and just rip my whole collection. You know, like I said, I have probably 20 crates of records, but I think I have about 500 CDs. I've probably been buying since I was 20. I never bought as many CDs as records. But some stuff, you know, if you see it and you don't, you know, they don't have the record, you just grab the disc and I ripped them all onto my computer, but I still have the CDs.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a purist by any means.
For the car now, you know, I have a CD player. I mean, I used to have a tape deck in my vehicle, so I rocked my old tapes. I just, you know, pulled out the Tupperware. I still have my tapes from high school.
Yeah.
They still sound fine, man.
As long as you have a tape deck, fucking hear it, listen to them. Right.
But like, same thing with the CDs. Now I have a car with a CD player, so I've been pulling out CDs to listen to.
Well, I sell CDs too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's
you got an eBay store?
I was thinking about fucking like tagging it like car jams.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't take the vinyl, fucking take the car jams.
Yeah, and dude, I'll have to make you a CD mix or something, because I make CD mixes like anytime I start a new job. I'm always like, oh, what kind of music you like? Oh, I got some of that stuff. Yeah, I'll burn you that, man.
Burn me this, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got a bunch of. I'll make you a Stooges disc of all kinds of, different shit.
Yeah, because it's interesting hearing about it. Because I wouldn't buy that extended edition, because I'm a fan, but I don't. I'm kind of a purist in the regard that I think like, okay, you're putting a record out. What the record you put out, that's the
representative of what it should be.
It's a record. Yeah. It's an album. It's going to go down in history as that piece of work. So don't fuck around with it and like re-release it with all these additional tracks of like either B-sides that didn't make the cut or
because it's always subpar or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's just like it was cut out for a reason.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
then once they're dead, they just stop putting out anything, man.
Yeah.
Throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. I mean, if
that's why live records don't. A lot of times live records fall short of the real record.
Right. But I am interested in hearing it. So I mean, like if someone were to say, "Hey, man, let me put this on for you,"
or I got a CD I burn for you.
I'll sit here and
put
listen
it in the car or whatever. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I'll burn you a Stooges
because it's
one
interesting
like that.
as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. For me,
it's
maybe
more
I'm
like
just a cheap bastard.
No, it's more like a historical document, or more like that kind of thing. When you go down the internet wormhole and you look on Wikipedia or YouTube, you don't have to pay for it, man. You just check it out.
Right.
It's like Alan Lomax style.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like
even document. The Spotify or whatever. Just stream
exactly.
It just to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because you want to know what it is, and like I got a lot of shit I missed out on.
Dude, there's a record like that. There's a famous Stooges record like that I do not own for a reason.
Which one?
It's called Metallic K.O.
Oh, okay.
And it's a live record, and like you supposedly hear like Iggy Pop getting like knocked out by a Hell's Angel, like in the recording, like he's like being an asshole, baiting the crowd, and then he gets like his ass kicked basically, and you hear it like on vinyl. But like when I say you hear it, like it's a fucking shitty recording.
Right.
It's awful. The quality of it is almost like unlistenable. Like you'd have to, the amount of mushrooms or LSD you'd have to ingest to like make this record like feel like you're there is quite substantial.
Because it sounds like a bootleg.
It is a bootleg. That's all it is.
It's just taped from a crowd.
Oh, and it's like it's bad. And there's like shit. But like with bands like the Stooges and the MC5, they only put out like 2 or 3 studio records. So what do you got to chase down? You got a bunch of crap. And like you said, is it worth your money? No. But is it worth kind of checking out? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really have too much of that, because I'm not crazy like that, I'm definitely a fan, but I don't like obsess. Like I'm not a record geek or a record nerd,
Just from you saying it though, like bringing it to my mind, it was just like, oh yeah, like kind of seeing how they hashed out these songs, like kind of like how those songs came to be.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of interesting. Yeah,
it is cool, man. Like I have the John Coltrane box set, Atlantic, and you kind of hear that kind of stuff too with the alternate takes.
Yeah,
they're definitely not as tight as the one that they use, but you can kind of see like as a musician, and from playing music that like that's kind of cool too to get to listen to and see like, oh, okay, yeah, he kind of took out this, he tightened up that, they kind of like slimlined it, made it more efficient, made it better. It's kind of cool to see.
Right.
It's like watching someone draw or paint or something,
Right.
Kind of like a different way to view it, not necessarily because that's what you want to hear, but maybe that's kind of what you want to experience because you're interested in that art form.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I'll fucking check it out for sure. If you want to make me a mix, man, I'd
I'll
love
make
it.
you a cool mix, man. I love doing that shit. Just put the headphones on and put the laptop up, and I got like 160 gigs of digital files. I have an iPod Classic, and I have my record collection, but then, like I said, I ripped all my discs one winter, which is probably about 500 discs or something, but like a lot of local stuff and stuff that if it didn't come up named, like it wasn't legit.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just erased it. I just deleted it because I don't want to go through and like type in stuff analog. Like, it drive me nuts, man. So there's definitely a lot of cool shit that I have that like part of my collection that isn't on the digital medium, because if it didn't get recognized and the song titles came up, like,
right,
sorry,
untitled, and
unless it
you're
was
like,
really something I was like, you know, had to have, or like, you know, I had to like listen to or something. But anyway, I have 160 gigs of like music, digital music to mess around with. My classic, I could go to anybody's house, plug it in the computer, PC, Mac, whatever, and just drag stuff onto it.
Oh, Jesus.
So like when I, you know, ripped my 500 discs, that was only like half of it. That was like 80 gigs. So I still had like 80 more gigs to like fill up from friends' music. So like, you know, all right, I have like the first 4 Metallica records on vinyl, like, but I don't have them digitally, but now I do, you know what I mean? Like all the Ramones records that I like, you know, I have the records, but did I have the CDs? No. Like I wasn't going to buy CDs of shit that I already had on vinyl, right? Most of the CDs I have is like, you know, jazz, black metal, death metal, like stuff that like, you know, came out later, you know what I mean? You know, reggae, you know, dub. I've got a bunch of, I mean, I have a handful of awesome dub records, you know, on vinyl too. But I think most of the stuff I ended up, you know, buying that stuff on CD because that's what, you know, was available or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's more cost effective too. Buying fucking vinyl all the time is a little break the bank. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You get a CD for $5, you know, vinyl's like 15, 20, 10 if you're lucky. But back when I was buying vinyl in the 80s, you know, 45s were like $2. And then like, you know, any record brand new was like $7, $6.99, $7.99. And then used records, like most of my punk collection, I got it In Your Ear and Tom's Tracks and Fast Forward for like $3, $4.
Nice.
You know, $5 was an expensive used record, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I built up my collection as a teenager buying used records on Thayer Street, you know?
I bet you got a good one then.
Yeah,
because if you were fucking picking them up,
I got a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, you have to come by and flip through the stuff, man.
I get worried about that because then I'm just like, oh shit, this is like too much information, and then I'm like, I could probably just steal, you know, sell all these. Because like that's
I've never, you know, I've been lucky. I never left Rhode Island. And I never like
You've never
found
sell
myself.
Your collection?
I never did that. I have a lot of friends that had to, and I just always had the shitty job.
Right.
Like, I didn't have to do that. I just kept it going and held on to my stuff. You know, I have Halloween records. I have like a big novelty section of like Salvation Army yard sale stuff that like I would never get rid of. You know what I mean? Like awful scratched Halloween records and stuff. But I mean, I love that stuff because I have like the 2 Techniques 1200s going. So like, you know, I'll put Slayer on, but with like some shitty, like scratched up, like, you know, Halloween record with like witches going like, like, I love playing that together.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, stuff like that.
So you think actually mix them together? Like
yeah, because I have a mixer in the middle.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I can play like, I like doing like King Tubby and Slayer too. Those 2 sound really good together.
Jesus.
Sounds really wacky.
You ever record any of that, or you just
I did back when at Red Rum behind Wes's in Olneyville. I had my 8-track going back then.
Yeah.
And I had it all set up, and I used to do that kind of stuff, make mixes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like crazy, crazy dubbed out mixes and like electro clash. But I mean, I'd done really amateurly and like thrash metal and reggae, dub reggae together.
Weird. That's awesome.
It was really weird because it was like fast, but then like with slow beats and like, you know, it was definitely fun, man.
Yeah.
Those 2 combinations, I don't know. It's like Reese's peanut butter cup, you know. You got your chocolate stuck in my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter stuck in my chocolate. You know, like those old commercials.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember those, but when I was a kid, those were the best commercials. It'd be like the bike accident, you know, like.
Yeah. That's awesome. I hear what you mean, man. So, I don't know. I guess we should fucking wrap this bitch up, huh?
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me, James.
Yeah, thanks for coming, and thanks for listening to the record. What'd you think overall, huh?
I thought it sounded great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, original mix, you know, all the controversy, whatever, man. The songs are there, man, and it's cool stuff. It's classic. It's legendary. You know? And it will remain that, you know, as, you know, all the music that comes after, you know, all this pop music going on now and radio stuff, like it just can't hold a torch to any of this stuff, you know.
Right. I hear you, man.
And that's what's cool, that it's like old, you know, it's 73.
Right.
I mean, that's like 45 years old, right?
Yeah, you do the math. I'm horrible at it. I give up.
I only know because I was born in 71.
Oh, okay.
So 73 is easy for
yeah,
me.
There
I just
you go.
take it away too, man.
Right.
But man, that's crazy. That record's 45 years old, and it's kind of ahead of its. You know, there are people still trying to catch up to that.
Right.
And they probably won't.
It just never will be what it was. Just never.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the thing, as I was saying earlier to you, is like, if you didn't know this, how would you make it?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you just have to fucking be Iggy and be just wanting to do that to yourself and to put yourself out there like that to do what they did. And that's it. It's just like, now it's just like, oh, well, he's just copying Iggy.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Because there are great bands out there, you know.
And then you say, and you know what though? There are people that definitely just copy him, but then there are people that are carrying the torch, man.
It's just what they do. It's just they hear the music and that's what they do, you know.
Yeah. I would hate to be like, you know, to come off as some like, you know, oh, that guy is copying Iggy. That would suck. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
People would say that about you.
That's the thing, and because like.
Because you're a crazy motherfucker, but he was a crazy motherfucker too. But you're just different.
You just try to put your own spin on it. You know what I mean? You can't like, what comes before, you have to tip your hat and, you know it's there and respect it and love it and know that it influenced you. But hopefully you can find your own voice and your own thing and not just be a blatant ripoff. Because that stuff usually just comes across hokey.
I agree. I mean,
it's like, you know.
I wouldn't. You know, I would never. I don't even like buy new music really.
Yeah.
I mean, but
it's funny though, because there's plenty of awesome new bands, man.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find them, you know.
It's
or you
true.
see them live and you're like, wow, you know the difference when like, you know, the opening act is kind of like someone just trying to do what the headliner does.
Right. Well, the time I was buying music the most was when I was going out to seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
So if I'm not going out to seeing it, then I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, I don't want to have to go to the record store. I don't want to have to go online.
You see the band and you just buy it. Like, wow, that was so good. You want to buy the record.
And then that helps them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like anytime a band's coming through, you buy the record if you want it.
I've been on that side of the fucking
Of course.
stick.
Yeah. I felt really bad. Like, the last show I went to of the record I wanted to buy was from Ted Leo at the Columbus.
Nice.
Recently. His new record. And I didn't have the money.
Ah, man, that's a bummer. Yeah.
And I know. And I'm just like, I specifically said, like, I want to buy the record, but I want to buy it
he's a
when I go.
talented guy.
Yeah.
His brother Danny's cool too, man.
Yeah, Boston guy, right?
No, he used to live in Providence. He went to RISD.
Danny? His brother?
Yeah, Danny Leo. I don't know where he lives now. I don't think it's Boston. It's further away. But he was buds with Sean and Joel, and
all right.
Used to play and share bills together and hang out.
Yeah.
I know him. I don't know Ted as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm more of an acquaintance.
I know he lives in Rhode Island too.
Yeah.
He lives down south from here.
Yep. But yeah, Danny's cool. He's a wicked musician too, man.
Yeah, they all are, right?
Real, energetic drummer.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what he does. Like, I've never seen any of his bands.
I think he was in a band, Radio to Saturn. Remember that band?
No.
I think he might have been in that band. He's done some awesome shit.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah. Ted's younger brother.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, hey, so thank you for coming. Thank you for fucking listening to the record.
Hell yeah, man. Right on.
We'll do it again sometime.
I hope so, man.
Let me know what you want me to look out for, and I'll fucking bring it out.
Right on. That
if I find
good,
it, I'll try to buy it. And I was gonna say that too. Is actually like, I sell the records.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell this record.
Oh yeah. You buy and sell. You have an eBay store?
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's going pretty well. So, I'm hyping it up and doing this at the same time, which is fun because we can listen to a fucking cool record.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But I'm hoping to get other newer, cooler stuff. Not necessarily newer, but I mean just something
different. Yeah.
And just something that's like kind of like interesting to listen to. Like I'd love some of the original Master stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Just to try to listen to it on vinyl, see what it sounds like.
Yeah. see how different it is than what they're doing, the remixes or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, man. I could definitely, you got to come over and pull out some stuff that you'd want to, like, you know, check out.
Yeah.
I'd be up for that, man.
Okay.
I have a lot of old stuff, original pressings, like 80s stuff, you know, underground stuff and post-punk and punk rock stuff.
I'm sure you got it. All that digging you did back in the day.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff that I bought when I was a teenager for a few bucks that, like, worth some money that I never even realized.
Yeah.
You know, they were just the records I bought when I was a kid.
Right.
You know, but they were like, they only made 500 of them or something. That Steve Albini record, the Rape Man record, or the first Shellac records.
Oh, really?
Familiar with any of that
stuff?
Yeah.
You got some of that?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I got the first, you know, it was funny because when I started playing with the Hot Knives guys, they were all into that stuff and Six Finger Satellite, and you know, they practiced in the Parlor after those guys had already like sold it and moved away.
Yeah.
But they were younger guys and they never saw those bands live or anything, the Lizard, any of that stuff. Right? So they were like in awe of it, whatever. And then I ended up being their vocalist, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I recorded like a demo with them. We put it up on Bandcamp. I have to play it for you.
Not on a label, like, or you didn't put it out?
No, it never got put out. We only played 2 shows, and then the band, you know, kind of people moved away, and
right,
you know. But now, like, 2 members form the Hammer Party.
Yeah,
what I'm currently doing.
That reminds me. So where can people find the music that you've made? Because you have so many bands. I mean, just gonna search every band.
Yeah, you could just search it. If you type it in on YouTube, I think there's like footage of all of them.
Yeah,
like from Vincibus Eruptum.
But what about getting the record?
You'd have to, like, a bunch of them are, most of them are Load Records.
Oh, okay.
Most of them are on Load, and then like there's some stuff on Bandcamp. There's stuff.
Yeah, and they can download it. Like, you can buy it and download it.
You know the FMU. You know that site? There's a music archive on WFMU out of New Jersey.
No.
We're in the New York
radio
line.
Station.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And they have basically a Providence archive.
Really?
And it's like all underground Providence stuff. I think most of my bands are on that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's just a free streaming service?
It's pretty cool. Check it out. Jason Signal.
All right.
He was a DJ back in the early 2000s, and he got that going. And it's like a bunch of like Olneyville stuff, a bunch of Providence underground.
Nice.
I think at least 6 of my bands are on there.
At least of the dozen plus that you've been in.
Well, you know, we're talking about, you know, almost 30 years of fucking rocking out.
Yeah, no, I know. I hear you, man.
It's just every few years, switch it up. You know, people move away. It's fun. I've gotten to play a lot of reunions with a lot of my bands and projects.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool. Well, so most recently you're going to be doing New York with the OCs.
Yes. Landed October 18 and 19.
18th and 19th.
At Warsaw in Brooklyn.
Yeah. And it's already sold out, though, so people just have to have tickets at this point. I know
Friday night sold out. I think Thursday you might be able to.
Okay.
It might be open Thursday.
Well, if you want to give me links, I'll put links up.
Oh, that'd be great, man.
Of course, yeah.
Awesome.
And if anyone's watching this and they fucking know who you are and want to come see the OCs or you,
that'd be cool. The OCs are big news, man.
Yeah.
They sell out New York. Last year, OSS opened up for them on 9/11.
Oh, shit.
They played 2 shows, and then their third show was they played 2 shows at Warsaw. I think La Machine or Oceans of the Moon, Rick Pelletier's band.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They opened up on one of the nights, I think. And then we got to do the last show, but they sold out 3 gigs in New York City.
Nice.
And they do that every year, I guess. I mean, that's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm so psyched for John, man. He works hard and they kill it. They have 2 drummers, and they stomp it out, and everyone's there rocking out pretty hard.
Nice.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
What do you think about the records? Just as good?
Oh, definitely. The newest one is pretty heavy. It's like, you know, they kind of do the garage rock thing, you know, psychedelic garage rock, but like the new one's even heavier than what you'd expect from that style.
Yeah.
They're all cool.
Right.
But new one's definitely a little different.
That sounds great, man.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to play with them. Yeah. You got to hear it. Yeah, check it out.
All right, I will.
All right, cool, James.
And people can check you out too and check out this record.
Check it out.
Come back and check everything out.
All right.
We're going to be here drinking fucking rye. Cheers.